This is Pulse of Africa, the face and voice of Africa. The story of resurgent and burgeoning Africa is here, only on the Pulse of Africa channel. Pulse of Africa, the face and voice of Africa.
Good evening. You're watching Pulse of Africa News live from Addis Ababa, the diplomatic hub of Africa, bringing you the top stories from across the continent. I am Samia Mohammed. Stay tuned. We'll begin with headlines related to African Union. The 2026 African Union Summit is scheduled to take place next week, bringing together leaders and policymakers from across the continent. This year's gathering will be held under the theme Assuring Sustainable Water Availability and Safe Sanitation System to achieve the goals of Agenda 2063. In a recent interview with Pulse of Africa, Harrison Nyambe, the Director of Sustainable Environments and Blue Economy at the African Union, underscored the profound importance of this theme for the people of Africa. He highlighted that water and sanitation are not merely basic necessities but foundational pillars for health, economic growth and sustainable development. Without reliable access to clean water and safe sanitation, the aspiration outlined in Agenda 2063, Africa's strategic framework for inclusive growth and transformation cannot be fully realized.
Whether we are talking of industrialization in Africa, we will need water. If we are talking of generating energy, we are talking of health. All sectors basically are connected to issues of water. Therefore, if you are able to secure, the supply of water, obviously you'll be able to unlock some of the sectors in terms of development. But apart from that, issues of sanitation are also quite critical. I think COVID-19 taught us some lessons. Therefore, we need water to wash our hands. We also need sanitation to make sure that our people remain healthy. Because with a health population, you can be able to achieve your goals and you can be able also to cut on expenditure.
Nyambe further explained that the African Union has already embarked on a range of initiatives and strategies designed to secure long-term water availability and improve sanitation system across the continent. These efforts aim to address challenges such as water scarcity, pollution and inadequate infrastructure, while also promoting innovation and collaboration among member states.
We support member states in terms of capacity building, especially on accessing investments or finance that is required for the water sector, like the infrastructure that we are talking about. We contribute also in terms of facilitating knowledge exchange or sharing of best practices, as well as monitoring and reporting on these issues. And currently we have also developed some multi-country programs or projects where member states, for example, one of them, we have got 15 member states who are working together, funded by the Green Climate Fund, for them to build resilience within the water sector to the impact of climate change. So those are some of the initiatives that we have.
Emphasizing the urgency of collective action, Nyambe called upon all stakeholders, governments, communities and individuals to join hands with the Union in advancing this critical agenda. He stressed that the success of these goals depends on shared responsibility and united commitment, as water security and sanitation are issues that affect every African citizen and future generation alike. Tanzania has launched a national agricultural mechanization strategy covering 2026 to 2036. Prime Minister Mwigulu Nchemba announced at the opening of the African Conference on Sustainable Agricultural Mechanization in Dar es Salaam on February the 3rd. According to the information reported by the local Daily News, the new roadmap provides for the acquisition of 10,000 tractors in the coming years. It also includes plans to establish 1,000 integrated agricultural machinery service centers at the neighborhood level across the country. These initiatives are expected to consolidate progress already recorded in the sector. In its annual report for the 2023 to 2024 fiscal year, the Ministry of Agriculture said the area of farmland cultivated using tractors more than double compared with the 2019 to 2020 season, reaching 4.35 million hectares. This progress reflects the expansion of the operational machinery fleet. Official data show that the number of small tractors in service increased by 76% from 8,883 units in 2019 to 2020 to 15,633 units in 2023 to 2024. Over the same period, the operational stock of large tractors rose by 30.7% to 25,632,000 units. These figures point to improved machinery servicing, operator training, and spare parts availability, all of which are essential for maintaining equipment, uptime, and productivity, the report said.
The African Continental Free Trade Area, AFCFTA, is one of the world's largest free trade zones, uniting 55 nations and about 1.3 billion people across the continent. Implementation advances include streamlined customs, digital protocol, and Pan-African payment system, which reduces costs and boosts local industries. Rise in trade volume and industrial linkage shows the potential to forecast self-reliance and prosperity across the continent. Ongoing efforts addresses barriers and maximize benefit, and all African leaders will focus on extraction and implementation. On the 39th Ordinary Assembly of the African Union from February 14th to 15th, right here in Addis Ababa. And Pulse of Africa will be telling you the economical empowerment. Make sure to stay with us and tune in.
Cleaner cities are creating healthier, safer, and more livable communities in Ethiopia. Every small change makes a big difference.
Botswana's President Duma Boko has highlighted Africa's democratic advantage as a key driver of the world's future during a keynote address at the World Government Summit 2026 in Dubai. He emphasized that the continent's rapidly growing and youthful population represents a historic opportunity not only for Africa but for global development and innovation. President Boko noted that with the right investment in education, innovation, and inclusive economic policies, Africa's youth could emerge as a transformative force, propelling global growth, technological progress, and social change.
Is a very young continent with a median age of 19.3. Botswana's median age is 25. And so with such a population, Africa is poised to rule the world. So to make it fairer, to make it more equitable, to ensure that intellectual property is internalized in every part of the African continent, that innovation serves humanity, not just a predatory elite, and that everybody can partake equitably and benefit from the fruits of the economy and the vast opportunities that are available in the world.
His remarks align with the summit's themes on future governance, sustainable development, and innovation, underscoring the need for international partners to recognize and support Africa's human capital potential. The World Government Summit convenes global leaders, policymakers, and experts to explore emerging trends shaping governance, economic strategies, and international cooperation. President Boko's address reinforced Africa's role in shaping these future trajectories, positioning the continent as a central player in the coming era of global development. Africa has entered a new era of execution in energy and infrastructure, moving from conceptual planning to tangible projects, leaders emphasized at the opening of the Continental Energy and Infrastructure Investment Forum in Lusaka. Zambian President Hakainde Hichilema stressed that the continent is no longer debating possibilities, Africa is delivering. President Hichilema highlighted the continent's evolving perspective, noting, "We are shifting our mindset from being landlocked to being land-linked. We are placing ourselves at the center of connected, thriving continent. It's got nothing to do with borders here. It's got everything to do with what makes sense, business sense, what makes economic sense." Lerato Dorothy Mataboge, Commissioner for Infrastructure and Energy at the African Union, reinforced the emphasis on action, stating that Africa does not lack plans, but success requires coordination, disciplined implementation, and partnership that deliver. The forum showcased initiatives aimed at closing Africa's energy access gap, including the generation of clean and renewable power, interconnection of national and regional electricity grids, and strategies to move from exporting raw minerals to creating local value. Participants underlined that leadership is aligned, projects are ready, and Africa is prepared to collaborate with partners who share the vision of a connected, industrialized, and prosperous continent. Turning to our business headlines. Cameroon and Equatorial Guinea signed a unitization agreement on Tuesday, February 3 for the Yoyo-Yolanda cross-border gas field. The agreement marks a decisive legal step toward the joint development of reservoir estimated at 2.5 trillion cubic feet of natural gas. The agreement combines two operating permits located on either side of the maritime border into a single joint production unit. This arrangement is part of bilateral treaty concluded by the two states in 2023 to enable the joint development of hydrocarbon reserves in the Gulf of Guinea. The treaty was ratified by national parliaments and deposited with the United Nations Secretariat in January 2025 to give it binding international status. Unitization allows for the exploitation of the single cross-border reservoir under harmonized technical, contractual, and operational rules. It aims to prevent competing production between the two countries and to ensure an agreed allocation of volumes. Joint studies said the resource split at 84% for the Yoyo block on the Cameroonian side and 60% for the Yolanda block on the Equatorial Guinean side. JPMorgan Chase is preparing a new reference index dedicated to frontier market local currency bonds, according to the several sources familiar with the matter, as investor appetite grows for riskier but potential higher return asset. The index, which JPMorgan could announce by mid-2026, would include between 20 and 25 countries. JPMorgan plans to cap country weightings to prevent excessive concentration, with no single country expected to exceed 8% to 10% of the index, according to options still under discussion. Consultation between JPMorgan and major asset managers intensified in the second half of 2025. We expect to receive a formal index structure around June, followed by a final comment period, a fund manager told Reuters, speaking on condition of anonymity. The formal launch could follow in 2027, although some investors anticipate a preliminary announcement as early as late March. This initiative emerged as frontier markets benefit from a prolonged period of dollar weakness and strong performances in countries such as Argentina, Ecuador, and Uganda. According to estimates from asset manager Neuberger Berman, cited by Reuters, traceable local currency debt in these economies has tripled over the past decade to reach nearly $1 trillion. Over the past 8 years, frontier market local currency debt issued by relatively small economies with limited representation in international portfolios has outperformed traditional emerging market debt indices by nearly 2.5 percentage points. This confirms that the growth and economic performance of these countries have been structurally undervalued, said Rob Dinchkongen, head of emerging market debt at Neuberger Berman. The index would include only bonds with a minimum size equivalent to $250 million and at least 2.5 years of remaining maturity. These criteria raise questions about the eligibility of some countries. JPMorgan estimates that the new index would offer a yield premium of about 400 basis points over its flagship GBI-EM index, with more than 6% of its constituents yielding yielding above 10%. JPMorgan created and manages GBIEM as a global benchmark for measuring and the performance of local currency government bonds in emerging markets. International institutions, including the World Bank and the International Monetary Fund, have long encouraged the development of local currency bond markets to reduce debt crisis risks linked to currency shocks. Shifting to sport news. Ghana midfielder Majid Ashimeru has taken a decisive step in his career after holding discussions with the national team's technical leadership over his chances of making the Black Star squad for the next FIFA World Cup. According to sources closer to the player, Ashimeru recently spoke with the Ghana international coach, who advised him that regular football at the highest level would be crucial to his World Cup ambition. He was told that consistent performances in a top-flight league would significantly improve his chances of remaining in contention for national election. As a result, the 27-year-old turned down a proposed move to France League 2, opting instead to continue his career in the first division with Belgian side Rabat. This decision reflects Ashimeru's determination to remain competitive and visible on the international stage. The move has now been officially completed, with the midfielder putting pen to paper on a contract with Rabat after successfully passing his medical and finalizing personal terms. Former France international and World Cup winner Marcel Desailly has expressed strong confidence in the ability of African nations to make a deep impact at the 2026 FIFA World Cup, citing the growing presence of African players in top European leagues. The former defender noted that many African national teams are now built around players who are regular starters in Europe's elite competitions. According to Desailly, this exposure has significantly raised the technical and tactical levels of teams across the continent. When you look at most of the teams now in Africa, you can see that inside the team there is a lot of first-choice players in Europe, so the potential is there, Desailly said. He added that beyond individual talent, African teams are also developing the mental strength and belief required to compete at the highest level. Desailly pointed to Morocco's historic run to the semi-finals at the 2022 World Cup in Qatar as clear evidence of what African nations can achieve with the right structure and confidence. The quality is there, the belief is there, as Morocco did by reaching the semi-final. Senegal can do the same thing. Ivory Coast can also, he stated. Now let's check out the latest weather forecast across the continent. That's all for this hour. Next up is our weekly show, El Dorado. We hope you'll stay and watch. Thank you so much for being with us, and goodbye.
El Dorado, a land of wealth, a future of limitless possibilities. This is El Dorado. From natural rich to groundbreaking innovations, discover Africa's untapped potential. El Dorado, unveiling Africa's global potential.
Today on El Dorado, we take you to the northwestern corner of Africa, a land full of hidden treasures and rich culture. From golden deserts to bustling cities, this is a region where history, art, and nature meet in spectacular harmony. Our journey begins us to Morocco, a country known for its ancient civilization, colorful markets, and breathtaking landscapes. Here, every city tells a story, every street carries history, and every corner invites discovery. Get ready to explore the magic of Africa's hidden gem.
The Kingdom of Morocco, perched in the northwestern corner of Africa, is the land of timeless beauty, vibrant culture, and centuries of history. Strategically located at the crossroads of Africa, Europe, and the Arab world, Morocco has long served as a gateway for civilizations, ideas, and trade across the continent. From the turquoise waters of the Mediterranean to the sweeping dunes of the Sahara, Morocco is a country of contrasts, where ancient traditions meet modern vitality and where nature, history, and culture converge in spectacular ways. In an exclusive interview with Pulse of Africa, Neza Aloy Mamadi, Morocco's ambassador to Ethiopia, emphasized Morocco's significant role in advancing African cultural cooperation. She highlighted Benin's recovery of its cultural artifacts from France, noting that the first exhibition of these artifacts outside Benin was hosted in Morocco 3 years ago, a historic milestone and a vivid example of South-South collaboration in action. For Ambassador Alaoui Mahamadi, Morocco's rich heritage is a cornerstone of national and continental identity. She stressed that no society can claim strength without knowing its history, and Morocco's 12 centuries of continuous civilization exemplify the importance of preserving culture for future generations.
Culture is not a matter that can be considered as a luxury. Culture is part of our DNA. Culture is a part of our sovereign identity, and it's also a matter that we have as African, that we have to consider much more seriously in terms of public policies, in terms of South-South cooperation, in terms also of thinking our homegrown model, and for ourselves, for our children, and for the next generations.
Morocco is also a treasure trove for travelers seeking authentic African experiences. Its cities are living museums of African heritage. Fez, the spiritual and intellectual heart of the country, is home to the world's oldest university, Al-Qarawiyini. Marrakech dazzles with its vibrant souks, majestic palaces, and the iconic Jama El Fana Square, where storytelling, music, and local cuisine create an unforgettable sensory journey. Meknes and Rabat, the imperial capitals, showcase Morocco's architectural splendor and historical depth, while the coastal city of Essaouira offers centuries of African, Arab, and European influences along the Atlantic. In the south, the endless sands of the Sahara Desert and the ancient caravan routes reveal Morocco's historic role in trans-Saharan trade and cultural exchange.
The Kingdom of Morocco, previously Empire of Morocco, is a very old civilization of 12 centuries, and through this long journey of the country, we have witnessed different dynasties, and we can see that we have imperial cities that were in the past the capital of Morocco, such as Fez, Meknes, Marrakech, and ultimately Rabat. So we have these imperial cities that are talking to visitors, talking to tourists, but talking also to our populations, because this is through our heritage and preserving our heritage in architecture, in gastronomy, in national attire, in mosaics, in our lifestyle, that we can recognize our past, be proud of who we are, and build a bright future.
Now, let's step into Marrakech, Morocco's vibrant heart. The famous Jama El Fana Square pulses with life every day. Storytellers, musicians, dancers, and street performers fill the air with energy and excitement. Wander through the colorful souks, taste the flavors of traditional Moroccan cuisine, and marvel at the places and gardens that have stood for centuries. Marrakesh is not just a city, it's a living story of Africa's culture, heritage, and creativity.
Beyond its natural and cultural wonders, Morocco's commitment to South-South cooperation extends to key areas shaping Africa's future: environmental protection, climate resilience, sustainable agriculture, economic development, and investment. Morocco's experience in these sectors is shared with African partners, reflecting a vision of cooperation based on mutual respect, solidarity, and shared destiny. Guided by the highest orientation of the kingdom, Morocco remains deeply committed to Africa. In a recent royal message, His Majesty King Mohammed VI reaffirmed Morocco's African identity, emphasizing that Morocco is and will always remain a proud African nation, ready to contribute its knowledge, expertise, and achievements to the continent.
Our public policies in Morocco internally are based on preserving and also building up to move on. All what we have achieved internally is available to be shared with other countries, and especially African countries. This is what we call South-South cooperation, starting from the African countries. It goes to environment, it goes to climate change effects, it goes to building a resilient agriculture, it goes to economies, investment, everything. This is the strong belief of my country, because it comes from the highest instruction of His Majesty, who delivered very recently another very important royal message to the Moroccan people, to say that Morocco is and will always be an African and proud and African country, which is always available and ready to share what it has been achieved in the country with other countries.
For travelers and cultural explorers, Morocco is more than a destination. It is an experience of Africa itself, a land where history, nature, and human creativity meet, and where visitors can witness firsthand the richness of African civilization. As Ambassador Alaoui Mahamadi highlighted, Morocco's journey of cultural preservation and continental cooperation exemplifies, making it both a destination of choice and a beacon of African heritage and solidarity. Whether wandering through the Medinas, traversing the Sahara Dunes, or exploring Morocco's UNESCO-listed sites, visitors are invited to discover a country that embodies the hidden beauty of Africa. A nation proud of its past, confident in its present, and committed to shaping a united African future.
Morocco is more than a destination, it's a journey into Africa's heart. From the lively streets of Marrakesh to the endless golden sands of the Sahara, Morocco offers experiences that awaken your senses and connect you to the continent's hidden beauty. Here, history and modernity meet tradition and innovation blend, and every visit becomes a story you carry with you. So come explore, discover, and be inspired. Stay with us on El Dorado, where every journey tells a story and every story brings Africa to life.
El Dorado, a land of wealth, a future of limitless possibilities. This is El Dorado. From natural reach to groundbreaking innovations, discover Africa's untapped potential. El Dorado, unveiling Africa's global potential.